Well, good afternoon. My name is Fernando Cerón, and I am going to start using this PowerPoint presentation about Unit 8. We will study the simple past tense. Well, we will check a little bit about meaning and use, form, structure, and we have some extra exercises in this for it. Well, if we talk about the simple past tense, we will analyze that the meaning is when we want to express the idea that has started in the past and is totally finished at a specific time. So it means that the action starts in the past and is over, is done. It's not going to continue. It has a specific time in the past. We have so many different expressions, like for example in 1980, last month, yesterday, last year, ago, last week. There are some keywords to identify these tense. Some examples we have here. I saw Maria yesterday. Yesterday is a keyword to demonstrate a simple past. Last Friday, the students took their spelling and vocabulary test. They got married 2 years ago. So we are using here verbs and actions that are finished, that are over. We have different forms in the verbs because we are using regular and irregular verbs. Regular verbs, they finish in ed, and irregular verbs, they have their own form. For example, here, regular verbs, they finish, with ed. Walk, walked, that's the pronunciation. Live, lived. Cried, studied. They are other examples. Yeah, when we want to write something in negative, we have to use the auxiliary didn't. But for example, here in irregular verbs, in affirmative sentences, we have become, became. They have their own form. We have like different examples for demonstrating the irregular forms of the verbs in past. Like teach, taught, bring, brought, live, left. We have some irregular verbs that they don't have a changed. For example, hit, hit, put, set, set. We have to identify these kind of sentences according to the keywords. For example, set in this part is used in simple present because we're using every Sunday, but here is using past because we are using the expression last night. Here we have some examples. Exercises. For negative sentences, we are going to use the auxiliary did. Obviously, because it is negative, it's going to be didn't. Yep. And the verb is going to be in the base form. For example, I didn't go to work. This is the auxiliary, and that's the verb in the base form. Obviously, we have the keyword here to identify the simple past. An exception is with the verb to be because it has its proper forms like was or were, plus not. We don't have to use didn't or did not with the verb to be. When we talk about yes, no questions, we have to do the opposite. First, in the first part, we have to write auxiliary did, then the subject, yeah, and finally the verb in the base form and then the complement. For example, did you go to work yesterday? Can you see the auxiliary here? We have the pronoun or the subject and the verb in the base form. So did you come yesterday? We have here another example. Finally, we have a different kind of exercises using the verb to be. We have regular verbs, visited. We have irregular, went. Original is go, base form. Didn't rain, the verb in the base form. We have the auxiliary, in this case the verb had. I had an amazing holiday. So these kind of exercises we can analyze in a future class. Thank you so much for your attention. That's what we saw about the simple past tense.